I'm going to ask our two candidates to come on over here and sit in the hot seat here.
Okay.
Education is my #1 priority, and it is for a very good reason. We need to have an educated workforce if we're going to compete globally. We need to make sure that our children are prepared for the future. We need to deal with the achievement gap. We need to deal with the funding gap. We need to bring money into the system. We need to prepare our children from preschool right up through community college and beyond. And I say community college because I agree with the governor's, many parts of the governor's readiness program. And what he states is we need to give free education for community college because we're going to have a lot of energy jobs, and we don't have the educated workforce to fill them.
Myself, I attended the Arlington school system. But as a member of the Board of Selectmen, I've also had involvement in the need to to create additional funding. I support the changes in the Chapter 70 Foundation budget, which are happening right now, that are being spearheaded by the Senate President. Very much. The reality of the Chapter 70 Foundation budget is that it's nowhere near what we're actually spending. In fact, it's not even close. So there's an effort going on to try to either redesign the formula, or let's bring the formula up to a level where it's more realistic. There's two real issues. Is our need, as elected officials and as a community, to provide health care for every individual is paramount. That is a high priority for me. I believe it's a high priority for the Democratic Party. I support that 100%. There are a number of proposals and options that are available, that will be before us in the coming months. The issue also is funding health care, both for the individual and for municipalities. There's two of those major issues, and of course all of the above is in conflict in terms of the finances available. So the governor's proposal, the Partnership Act, is a good first step in addressing some of those issues. That was a good sound bite. He was yawning, but the governor's proposal, again, to address those issues, I support 100%. I think there's an opportunity there, for us to pool our resources, for us as a state to come up with opportunities to decrease the costs. Because the goal ultimately is to provide health care for every individual, and I support that 100%.
I actually think that the proposal to increase businesses' cost to the uncompensated care pool in the universal health care, they just come out yesterday, I think it was a good plan. Because our businesses, corporation got away with murder when they did the universal health care. To charge $295 for anybody that didn't have health insurance was absolutely ludicrous. That was for people that pay for health insurance. For businesses that give health insurance, cost, as everyone knows, several $1,000s, and to pay $295 was absolutely ridiculous. Police details are being addressed right now in the legislature. If you're under 40 miles an hour in a rural district, then you may go with the flagmen. And I think the important piece there is where they determine where flag details should be and where they shouldn't be. It's up to the police chief. This is a safety issue. I think the police chief, the town manager, and in the town should be looking at this to say, is it important to make sure that we have, for safety reasons, police details, or we don't need police details? But the town of Arlington should make that decision. I think it's a little different than Windell, Massachusetts, where there's no traffic at all. It's a safety issue. The police chief should be involved in that decision, and also the town manager and the citizens of Arlington should make that decision.
Thank you. My position on and I think what we're calling the flag people is the gist of the question, is if it is a situation where there's traffic enforcement that's required, that there's a safety concern, I would support that. If there's not, we need to create opportunities for funding. And this is an opportunity that's there that It happens all over the country except here. Again, we don't want to put people in a public safety concern situation. So again, that would be up to the police chief, but I think the latitude on that has to be consistent in terms of when, you know, a police officer is needed. And so my position on that will be to only have police officers when there's a safety or a traffic concern, as we are doing throughout the country. It's funding that we absolutely need, and it's funding that it takes away from the project itself, whether it's building a bridge or a road. But we never want to put our residents in a unsafe situation when a police officer is required. I absolutely support gay marriage. I absolutely support that constitutional law. You know, it's something that many of us have talked about often. You know, the right of equality, the right of individuals to marry if they wish to, I support 100%. I was actually in the Senate chamber with my daughter when the 1913 law was passed in the Senate. It was my first trip in there recently. I had an opportunity to do a little tour of the State House with my daughter, who had not been in there yet. So, you know, my support of that, as I said earlier, is unwavering. And I also support a woman's right to choose. You know, having an abortion is a very, very personal decision. I respect that, and I respect each individual's right to make that decision. So I support both of those 100%.
I've always supported basic human rights and basic rights. I support gay marriage. I support the right to be happy and have freedom. I support the right to choose. Again, that's freedom, the freedom to make choice on your own health.